Lately, life feels strangely quiet. Not peaceful, just empty in a way that's hard to explain. You wake up, go through the motions, and wonder why nothing seems to really touch you anymore. On the outside, things might look fine. You're studying, working, or at least trying to keep up. But inside, there's a dull numbness that makes everything feel distant and flat. You're not sad all the time, and that's what makes it confusing. You laugh sometimes, you scroll, you talk to people. Yet when the day ends, it feels like nothing truly stayed with you. Stay till the end. This might change how you see your own journey. Not because it gives you instant answers, but because it might finally explain what you've been feeling. Sometimes understanding is more powerful than motivation. This emptiness doesn't arrive all at once. It builds slowly, quietly, over weeks or even months. One day you realize you're just existing, not really living. Things that used to excite you don't hit the same anymore. Goals feel blurry, passions feel distant, and time feels like it's slipping without meaning. You start asking yourself what you're even moving toward. You might blame yourself for feeling this way. You tell yourself you should be grateful, that others have it worse. That guilt only deepens the emptiness instead of fixing it. People around you seem busy chasing something. Careers, relationships, milestones, plans. Watching them makes you feel like you missed a memo about how life is supposed to work. So you try to push forward anyway. You add more distractions, more noise, more scrolling. But the more you fill your time, the emptier you start to feel inside. This is the part no one really talks about. Emptiness isn't always about having nothing. Sometimes it's about having too much that doesn't align. Too many expectations, too many comparisons, too many roles to play. You're living on autopilot more than you realize. Days blend together, and you stop being present in your own life. You're physically here, but mentally somewhere else. Deep down, there's a conflict happening. One part of you wants meaning and depth, while another part is just trying to survive the day. That tension quietly drains your energy. You might think you need a big change to fix this. A new goal, a new routine, a new version of yourself. But emptiness isn't always solved by adding more. Sometimes it comes from disconnection. Disconnection from yourself, your values, and what actually matters to you. When that happens, life starts to feel hollow no matter how busy you are. You've been doing what you're supposed to do, following paths that made sense at the time. Somewhere along the way, you stop checking in with how you actually feel. Your mind is full, but your heart feels untouched. You consume content, advice, and opinions daily. Yet none of it seems to answer the quiet question inside you. That question is simple but heavy. Is this really my life? And more importantly, is this all there is? If this feels relatable, hit like or comment I relate. Not because you owe anything, but because acknowledging it matters. You don't have to carry this feeling alone. Emptiness often shows up when you've been strong for too long. When you've ignored your emotions to stay functional. Over time, that emotional suppression turns into numbness. You didn't lose your feelings overnight. You slowly stopped listening to them. Life taught you to keep going, not to pause and reflect. There's also the pressure of becoming someone. Someone successful, confident, disciplined, and put together. That pressure can disconnect you from who you already are. You start living for outcomes instead of experiences. Always thinking about what's next instead of what's now. The present moment gets skipped again and again. And when the present is ignored for too long, life starts to feel unreal. Like you're watching yourself live instead of actually being there. That distance creates emptiness. This is the turning point most people miss. Emptiness isn't a sign that life is meaningless. It's a signal that something inside you needs attention. It's your inner self asking for honesty. Asking you to slow down and listen. Asking you to stop numbing and start noticing. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need a 5-year plan or a perfect purpose. You need reconnect ion before direction. Reconnect ion starts small. It starts with noticing how you feel without judging it. Letting boredom, sadness, or confusion exist without immediately escaping it. When you sit with yourself, uncomfortable truths might surface. Maybe you're on a path that doesn't fit anymore. Maybe you've outgrown certain dreams. That realization can feel scary, but it's also freeing. Because it means the emptiness isn't permanent, it's transitional. You're not broken for feeling this way. You're evolving. Old meanings are falling away to make room for new ones. This stage of life often feels the quietest. No big celebrations, no clear achievements. Just you, your thoughts, and unanswered questions. But this is where depth is built, where self-awareness grows, where you begin to choose your life instead of inheriting it. Meaning doesn't always come from doing more. Sometimes it comes from caring more about fewer things, from aligning your actions with your values. You might need rest more than motivation, space more than stimulation, silence more than advice. As you reconnect, small things start to feel real again. A calm morning, a deep conversation, a sense of presence. These moments slowly refill what felt empty. Life doesn't suddenly become perfect, but it becomes more honest. And honesty feels fuller than pretending ever did. You start understanding yourself instead of fighting yourself. You stop rushing to escape the emptiness and start learning from it. That's when direction begins to return. Not loudly, not dramatically. Quietly, gently, in a way that feels sustainable. This phase isn't wasted time. It's necessary time. A pause between who you were and who you're becoming. If life has felt empty lately, it doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're waking up to something deeper, something more real. Let this be a reminder that emptiness is not the end. It's an invitation to live more consciously, not more impressively. If this video helped you feel understood, please like it. Subscribe to Grow with Grace for more calm and honest reflections. And comment below what you've been feeling lately. Your words matter here.